Hey everybody, how you all doing today? This is your girl, Splendora Styles. I hope you all are doing alright today. I am doing alright today. Okay, jumping right into today's toxicity is for a lesson, not for a lifetime watching my surroundings. It is called Irreflective Connect Mirror. Okay. I had a doozy coming up with a name for this particular topic. And what brings me to this topic is yesterday I wasn't exactly eavesdropping, but I overheard a conversation. Sometimes, okay, so you have to be mindful of what advice you get and following that advice and who it's from. A lot of times, people we trust, parents, siblings, therapists, boss, doctor. Everyone is not necessarily up on their game. Everyone is not necessarily out for your benefit. Okay? Hear me, okay? Someone you love and loves you may give you erroneous advice or information. Okay? And I hope I'm talking loud enough. They may give you the wrong information, not on purpose. Okay? They're just going with their consciousness as far as their scope will take them. Okay? Now, there are people in your life, unfortunately, it could be your parents, your siblings, your own children, your boss, your therapist, can give you erroneous advice on purpose. Okay? You possess something they want or they don't have or they feel like they can't get. You being yourself, even in your broken state, you're more powerful than they are. And they recognize it. Okay? Because you are broken. Because you're not yourself. Because you cannot be yourself when you are in pain. Okay? You cannot be your adequate, authentic self when you're hurting. You cannot. It's impossible to be your best self when you're hurting, when you're angry, when you're resentful, when you are stuck on stupid, when you are in a position you can't seem to get past. You can't make a logical decision about your well-being, about your safety, about your success. Okay? A lot of times, therapists, preachers, teachers, everybody kind of like copy rhetoric someone else is giving, right? And sometimes, oftentimes, they give advice based on study, research and stuff, which is valid to a degree. But a good leader, a good teacher, a good mentor will know what information to give to which people. You understand what I'm telling you? People have different learning styles. People have different comprehension levels. People understand different types of vernacular. You know, if I say certain things to somebody, say a man, a black man, right? If I say it a certain way, he understands a certain message. If I say the exact same thing to someone who is Spanish or Greek or, English, European, it wouldn't have the same meaning because they do not understand the background of the words, okay? When a person can sense or just simply knows that you're weak or ignorant in an area, they can tell you whatever. Then if you take on that belief into your belief system, you have then changed the trajectory of your life. Okay? And I'm trying to go slow enough to make sure I get the words, the correct words, to get the correct message to you. Okay? So when you are in a broken state of mind, broken emotionally, broken spiritually, you know, someone can really take advantage of you, knowingly or not, okay? Now, as I said, I was listening to a conversation yesterday, and I don't know if this was the child's life coach, therapist, or what, you know. And I've been hearing this terminology for years, and it's noted in psychology, you know, but it doesn't apply to everyone, okay? So it's the mirror effect, okay? And then the theory is that you have people in your life that are just like you to some degree, right? And that's the reason you all connected to each other, okay? So the therapist, the expert, was telling the young lady, apparently it was a relationship type of dynamic, right? And the lady said, well, if he's jealous, that means you're jealous too. And she said, that's why y'all connected. That's why y'all are one. You know, he's reflecting back to you. That's the mirror effect. And I was like, okay, I see what she's saying. And the girl was a little distraught at hearing that. The girl was already hurt, okay? And then to tell her that she was the problem. To tell her that he's only doing to her what she's doing to herself or someone else. Okay, guys, you know, and that's why they're together, and that's why it hurts. And if she just changed herself, you know, then he will come along and follow suit. All right, so all that right there, I personally have an issue with it, because it's like this. Because I have an issue with it, one, because it's very, very, very misleading, and it's very damaging. You know what I'm saying? It's inaccurate in my book, okay? Because if you say y'all connected because, you know, he's toxic, you're toxic, that may not be why y'all connected. You know, no one is all good. No one is all bad. And maybe, just maybe, they connected on good points when they were both in their best state of mind. They're both happy or whatever, you know. And then she's talking about the mirror effect. You know, when you look in the mirror, you know, it's reflected back to you opposite. Right. It's reflected back to you opposite of the same thing. It's not like you look in the mirror and your right eye in the mirror is your left eye and it's an apple. It's not like you look in the mirror and your nose becomes a banana. It's still a nose. So your good is reflected back to you. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm upset because, one, wasn't my conversation. But I wanted to talk to the child because she wasn't happy at all. And then she left. I could tell she left the conversation thinking like, okay, how can I change myself so that I can change him so that we can be happy? You can only change yourself. And if you guys are not in alignment in a great degree, you're not going to be friends. You're not going to be together. And just because you change and become better doesn't mean they are. You may change and become better and realize they're jacked up and they like it. Everybody has a right to be themselves, good or bad or indifferent. Everyone has a right to be themselves. And some people like the way they are. When I was younger, and you know, I used to cuss folks out and tell them off and beat them up, I liked that. I felt like one of the family, you know what I'm saying? But then, you know, if you keep going and you want to be right, the right will keep growing. And it kept growing. So I got to a point where I didn't like that. I didn't want to hurt nobody. I didn't like the effects of it. You know what I'm saying? And of course you reap what you sow. Reaping what you sow is not the same as mirror. Okay? That is not the same thing. Don't get it twisted or misconstrued. All right? So Yes, you will reap what you sow. Karma is real. The law of reciprocity is real. But maybe, just maybe, okay, she's not a great girl. He's not a great guy overall. Maybe you guys connected on the good points. And when they reflect something bad back to you, you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Because if y'all were the same, then, hey, you'd understand it. You wouldn't get mad. You wouldn't get upset. You wouldn't be hurt. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do not be fooled by mainstream thought process. Do not be taken in by what everyone else is doing. Have sense for yourself, as my mom and dad used to tell us. Think for yourself. And if someone tells you you're something and you go in and do a reflective look on yourself, do a deep dive into yourself, and you say, no, I'm not manipulative. No, I'm not a liar. No, I'm not toxic. That's a judgment call. That is a decision that you make so that your life can be better. Don't go, just please, 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 do not just go along with something because someone else said that's what's so. That's that. All looks ain't alike and all niggas ain't black, okay? That's just it in a nutshell. Okay, and I really felt bad for the child, and I said, well, maybe I need to address this. You can't change anyone simply by changing yourself unless they want to change. Now, you change yourself, and then they are inspired by your change, yeah. But that's God doing that. That's not you. You're just a vessel. You're just an instrument. You're just a tool. And that's why it's better, they say it's always better to be yourself and do what you are meant to do, because in doing so, you give someone else permission. You give someone else courage. You give someone else strength to be themselves. Because we don't know what people go through every day. We don't know what people have been through, even growing up in the same house. You can have kids. I'm talking from experience. You can have kids grow up in the same house, hear the exact same message at the exact same time. And because of whatever they deal with at school or within themselves, or whatever message they got from TV or radio or a song or something like that, they hear a totally different message sometimes than what you're saying, and totally different from each other. So be mindful of what you agree with. Be mindful of what you accept. Understand and know who you are, and do not allow someone else to tell you who you are. If they say you are something, like someone I know, we tell her all the time, you're mean. You're mean. And so one day she was pissed off because I said, you're mean. And she got mad with me, And why you? I said, because you're mean. I said, you're mean. I said, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. No one's going to tell you something that you don't already know. Very, very rarely is someone going to tell you something you don't already know. Okay? So I said, you're mean. I said, you just don't want people to know you're mean. You don't want people to recognize that you're mean. I said, that's crazy. That's insane. People have feelings, okay? I said, whatever's eating you, I said, you need to deal with that. And stop taking your anger out on someone else. And then, my intuition kicked in. I said, whatever you're dealing with in your marriage, that's your choice. You don't have to deal with it. And because you choose to deal with it, you take it out on other people. And I said, that's not right. And all that is doing is creating a vicious cycle of pain for you. So if you recognize you are creating a vicious cycle of pain for yourself by continuing to choose the same thing a different way. You chose the same man that looks different. You chose the same woman that looks different. You chose the same situation that looks different. You chose the same job that looks different. It's the same thing in its essence, in its core, in its purity. So you have to go inside yourself, yes, and change yourself. And yes, that will change the people who are around you, not necessarily change the people themselves. Because when you are healed, you attract other healed people. Yeah. You're not attracted to the broken anymore. And you won't break people anymore. And you won't allow people to break you. So the mirror effect, reflecting bad back to you and you reflecting good, is the opposite. No. You don't look in the mirror and see a monster. You don't look in the mirror and see a tree. You see yourself. So if you're good, then you saw the good in the other person, the same good you see in yourself. I would rather look at it like that. That's just me. I would rather know that I connected on to someone because of good qualities. We share good qualities, not bad qualities. I would rather think I'm good enough to attract the good in someone else and draw it out. You know what I'm saying? And we both work on our negatives, our shortcomings, our deficits. You know, it's complicated in a lot of ways because of people's perspective, perception, and thought process on the comprehension of it, the lack thereof. So it's hard to give a cookie cutter answer for everyone. And advice is not, it's a no-brainer. We all know same advice is not going to work for everybody, okay? The fish needs to be in the water and cat needs to be in the tree, okay? They can't do the same thing to be happy. You can't do the same thing all the time that someone else is doing to make you happy. And whether it's a good man to one person or a good woman to another person is a bad person to you. You have different requirements. And even though some people are like, well, I want to marry my best friend, the requirements to be a friend is different for the requirements to being a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife. Don't try to make the same application apply to everybody, you know. So, for those of you who are trying to change someone into what you want them to be, it's better for you to go and find someone who already is what you want them to be. Because if you have to change a person, that means you don't like them. You don't like them. You know, you have to do all this, you don't like them. And I'm 100% sure that there's someone out there exactly for you, exactly the way you like them. And you are exactly the way that they like you. And we're not with those people because we're so busy trying to be something we're not. Trying to be what everyone accepts and everybody wants. That's a tall order. And it's insane to try to do that to yourself. So do not, please, do not take responsibility for someone else's actions unless you caused it for real. You know, but their everyday thought process, who they are and who they're not, no, ma'am, no, sir. Do not take that stress upon yourself like that. Work on yourself. That's a big enough job for you. That's a big enough task, a hard enough task, a deep enough task for you to take care of yourself, work on yourself, make yourself better. And trust the good Lord, Most High God, Universe Harold, to work on everyone else. Okay? I love you guys. I love you more than words can ever express. Mwah. Bye now.